Hello everyone, this is TheHunter DD33, and today we're back out here on the Hunter Classic, and this time we're over on Loggers Point. Now this time we're going to head over to the stand here, and this time I'm going to tell you about one of the furthest shots I ever made with my whitetail compound bow. Now this was actually second season bow hunting, and this is why you also don't let your friends borrow your hunting coats when they go snowmobiling. So basically what happened is, I was sitting in a tree stand and nothing really came in for quite some time, and next thing I know I spotted a shooter buck. Now for me, a shooter buck would be close to a 16-inch 8-point with decent tines and pretty decent mass. But the problem is he was 62 yards out, so he actually wouldn't come any closer, and I couldn't figure out why. But then when I realized I forgot I just let my friend borrow my Carhartt camouflage, actually it wasn't a camouflage, but I just let my friend borrow my Carhartt jacket, and in the winter it gets pretty cold, so you actually don't need that much camouflage on, because I mean you have snow all over the place anyway, so camouflage really isn't going to do too much. So I like to wear my Carhartt winter jacket to keep nice and warm in the winter. Now it's not the quietest thing, but it's very comfortable and it definitely keeps you warm second season. So what happened is, basically like this buck right here, he wouldn't come any closer. He just stood there at 60 yards out and kept stomping. And I knew he could smell me and there was nothing we could really do. So the only thing I could think of is I just got done practicing at 62 yards with my whitetail bow. And so I thought, you know, it's either now or never. I'm probably never going to see this buck again. And so I have a nice Luminoc arrow knocked into my string. And I got this pretty good buck out here. He's like a 130s, probably 120s, 130s 8-point buck. And he just would not come in. I kept trying to grunt him in, rattle him. He just would not come. So that's when I realized, well, it's now or never. And that's about what's going to happen right here. So we got this buck out here at about 60, 65 yards out. And we're going to take a shot, if he gives us a shot actually. Now, I wouldn't take just a random shot at 65 yards. It would have to be a pretty broadside shot. And that's the difficult part about this here, is he's probably not going to give us a broadside shot. But during the moment, that buck was standing broadside. Actually, he was kind of quartering slightly away because he was coming right towards me. And he knew that there was a couple of hot does not too far away. But he just wouldn't want to come any closer. So what happened is, he actually stopped, started stomping, and slowly turned away from me, and he stopped quartering broadside, a little bit slightly quartering away, and I had my rangefinder and I ranged him at 62.5 yards away. So I put my 60-yard pin right on the top of his lung, and I pulled the trigger, and this is what I got. Alright, so we got this buck here stopped at pretty close to 60, so let's see if we can't put a good hit on him. Well, let's just say my shot wasn't quite that good, but it was pretty awesome. So the thing is, when you're hunting in thick woods, there's really very little pockets to actually be able to shoot 60 yards. So what happened is I had to find a little pocket like this, right through these trees here. So we have like a tree and some brush, and you had to shoot right through that. But the problem is, if you just shoot right through there, most likely your arrow might raise a little bit and hit that brush. So you got to be careful that you don't quite hit that brush. And when I took a shot, my arrow just barely cleared the bottom of this little pocket, and you could see it rainbow right in for a perfect shot on this buck. Alright, well, since we have a couple of does over here, we might as well take a shot on one of them. Alright, so that one just went down. And this one's kind of walking away, but I think we could still make a decent hit on her. Yep, she went down too. Alright, so back what I was saying. When I took the shot, I could see my red luminoc light up, and it stuck right into the snow. So I knew right exactly where the blood was going to be. My luminoc, there was just blood everywhere. It was the coolest thing to actually see all this blood in the snow right next to my arrow with my red luminoc, and you could just see a trail going right in the direction of where that buck ran to. Now, even though I had a pretty good feeling it was a really good hit, I'm not about to get down and track that buck right away, because it's really hard to tell exactly where you hit, especially at shooting 60 plus yards with a compound bow. So what we did was went back to the house and waited for about 2 hours or so until it got dark, and then went over there with a couple of my friends. Oh, we got a hog coming in actually. I don't have the hog collar on us, but we do have some tracers, and I think if he pops out we might be able to get a shot on him. It would be really cool if he actually came out into range, but he might not. We'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye out. He might actually come out over in this direction here, and if he does, we'll have a perfect wind. Yep, perfect wind. So what I did was went back to the house and called a couple of my friends. They were actually probably chilling over there anyways, just because we were playing video games or something at the time. But I think my parents were actually away. Yeah, they were away. My parents were in Mexico on vacation, so I had the house to myself. And I was 17 years old at the time, so nobody... Oh, there's our board, there's our board. Alright, we're going to get a shot. He's going to be... Yeah, we should probably try and get a range on him. He's going to be about 75 yards out, well, 75 meters out. I don't think he's going to quite stop or not, but we could definitely put a hit on him. Oh, we hit behind him. Oh, there goes the tracer. That's alright. So eventually I got all my friends together and we decided to go head out and look for this buck. Now we didn't really have to track too far because I knew exactly what direction it went, and there was a trail going right into the direction that I last saw him. But he actually headed into the thickest part, so I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to find him or not. It depended on how much he's going to keep bleeding, or if he stopped bleeding, or if he... A lot of times when you hit a big buck, or a good sized buck, not a huge buck, they like to basically stay out of the open, so they run through the thickest brush, and it's really hard to see blood in the brush because sometimes the blood only goes straight down, and if it gets on the brush it basically blends in with the sticks and the shrubs and you can't actually really see the blood, so it's very difficult. But what we did was we ended up tracking it probably about 80 yards further from where I last saw it, and I mean it just piled right up. It didn't even go 120 yards probably. So when I walked over to it, it was laying right there, and I could just see the perfect placement of the arrow, and it was right behind the front shoulder, and it came out right in front of the front shoulder. So just to be honest about how far the shot was, I went back to the tree stand and I had my friend set up a 3D target right exactly where the first blood was on that buck, and right where my luminoc was sticking out of the ground, or out of the snow. And I took the rangefinder and I had my friend go up in the tree stand, and he ranged it at 62.5 yards. So that was the furthest shot I ever made. It was also one of the furthest shots that anybody that I've known at the time have ever even made. So to be able to take that far of a shot and make a perfect hit, it was a really, really cool experience. Especially just to be able to see the rainbow of my red luminoc arrow lit up and arc right perfect into that buck. It's just one of those things where it can only happen once. Alright guys, we got another doe coming in now, so we're going to take a shot on her. See, that should have been a good hit. Something else just spooked behind us. I'm not sure how that didn't drop her, but that's alright, because she'll definitely not go too far. Alright, so we're going to hop down now and go take a look at this buck, and we'll pick up these couple of does first. Then we'll go head over to the buck. So made a lung liver shot on her. We actually made a 25 meter walking heart shot on this doe. So that was a pretty good hit we made on her. Alright, so let's go over here and go take a look at this buck. And let's see where we actually did hit him. Now, I think we actually hit him somewhere in the spine. Yeah, we hit pretty high. Looks like we caught spine, maybe intestine. But let's pick him up. So we got spine and intestine. He was only 45.6 meters. See, he was quite a bit closer than I wanted to come. I wanted to take a 60-yard shot, but he was only 45.6 meters out. So, still pretty cool. And definitely sort of what I wanted to have happen, but just not quite. So now, we're going to go keep hunting and try and find a big whitetail buck. Alright guys, so we just started tracking the doe that we hit in the lungs. And here she is down right here. Now, C.R. Wilson just got a nice 155 score in whitetail buck. Not too far away, so hopefully we can find something like that just up ahead. Alright, well, we didn't find any decent bucks yet, but we found the big pig that we had, we took a shot at before. He looks like an 800 plus, nice feral hog over here, and this time we actually have the hog collar, so let's see if we can't lure him in to take a nice shot. Alright, well, it looks like the wind just switched, and that's the one thing you always have to be checking as well. Especially when you're bow hunting, to make sure that the wind is not blowing right at him. And if the wind is blowing right at him, which it was, you better be careful because he's probably going to smell you. And that's why that 8-point buck smelled me at 60 yards away. Alright, so we have this boar coming up over the hill right now. He's a pretty good one. Not a very good angle, and the wind is really strong. Probably not going to get a very good hit on him if we took this shot, so we have to be patient and let him come in to hit the vitals. And he's going to be about 50-55 yards out, so as soon as he stops, we'll be able to take a nice 50-yard shot. Alright, so here he is right there. We got him stopped at about 50. Just hammered him. I think we hit him a little bit far back, but definitely got some kind of vital. Might have been a little bit high. Yeah. We hit him a little bit far back. That was intestine. Not quite as good as I thought. But he will go down. Just going to be a little bit longer than I really wanted to wait. But you can see how much the wind pushed that arrow at even 50 meters. So you can imagine how much it would push it any further than that. You really don't want to shoot any further than 50 or 60. So let's go hop down here and go see what kind of blood we have. I know we definitely have some kind of intestine blood, but I don't think we got liver. It looked like we hit a little bit too far back. And the thing is, we were actually holding it somewhere on the front shoulder neck area, and it pushed so far back that it hit. Almost hit him in the hind quarter, actually. Yeah, that was a little ways out there, that shot was. Alright, so here's the blood. You can see it's intestine blood, so it will go down. I thought I saw him over there. Look, you can see our tracer sticking out of the grass right over there. So what would happen in a situation like this, well, especially in real life, you don't even want to think about tracking them right now. You'd want to wait at least 3 to 4 hours, maybe even sometimes the next night you want to go track them. Alright guys, so C.R. Wilson is looking for this buck right here, and we just found him for him. You can see he looks to be a 200 plus muley for sure. He has some really good forks on his back tines there. It looks like his left side has a little bit of a deduction, but no matter what, he's definitely 200 plus. Probably 215s, something like that. So there's the other boar. This is not the one that we hit, although it's pretty close to the same weight and score. I think the other one was a little bit bigger than that one. So now we're just keeping an eye out for this buck. I'm not sure where he went, but I think he might have trotted off out of render distance somehow. And where he went from there, I don't know. So what we're going to do is we'll try and mark the spot where he should go to. Alright guys, well C.R. Wilson just found that big buck, and he's enclosing on him now. I think he's about 60-70 meters out from him, so he's going to get a shot off here pretty soon. And looking forward to seeing that thing, so hopefully he gets him. I'm sure he went down. He hit him with the 30R. Alright, well I guess he got him down, so let's go head over and go take a look at this buck. I'm going to say he's for sure 200 plus, probably like 210, 215. Let's go take a look. That is a big buck. Let's see what he scores. And he scores 214.0. Pretty awesome buck. I had a feeling he was close to 215. What an awesome buck. When I saw him, I knew he was definitely a good one, but with that deduction on his back left fork over there, I knew he probably wasn't going to break 220s because of that. But he's still an absolute giant muley. And congrats to C.R. Wilson for getting this monster buck. He took him out with a 30R rifle at, I think it was like 150 meters from him. So pretty awesome shot and awesome buck. Alright guys, well it's been about 20 game minutes now, and we basically just walked over where we last saw the tracer arrow sticking out of the ground. And here you can see some blood, and he's actually down right up here. So pretty cool. We found our hog, and now let's pick him up. He's probably going to be at 800 plus, so pretty solid bore. And you can see that we hit him a little bit far back. But like I said, if you give him enough time, he will go down. Alright, so you can see we shot him at 51.1 meters, and the wind pushed it pretty far back. We actually hit him in the hip bone and intestine. And he scores 827.5. So let's see if we can't see where the shot actually hit. And yeah, you actually can. So we're holding it somewhere on the front shoulder, way over here. And you can see just how much the wind has an effect with taking that far of a shot. And that's why nobody really shoots that far, especially in real life, because if you're even off half an inch at 60 yards, it's going to throw you off 2-3 feet. And you might even miss the whole target. So I wouldn't recommend taking that far of a shot. But if you do, make sure you have plenty of practice and always check the wind. Alright guys, well, I think that's going to be the end of this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.